Hi everyone, welcome to another Workshop Wednesday video. My name is Andrew Cortez. I'm an educator here at IMAS. Now we'll be guiding you through this month's activity. Before we get started, I would like to thank HEB Helping Here. They have made this possible. They have they've done it possible for us to give out these free kits here. And also we have a giveaway going on. If you did sign up for a kit, you are automatically entered in the giveaway, but you can always comment on the video to get an extra entry in the giveaway, making it more possible for you to win. So for this month, we have a kit that has a bunch of arts and crafts stuff. So we have paint in here. We have
Glue gun.
glue gun. Yeah, so we have glue guns with more glue. We have paintbrushes. We have pencils, even Prismacolor. Prismacolor is a very good brand. Markers. So it's really good, guys. I would recommend you guys comment. Maybe after the video, you guys can share your artwork to us, to our social media, and then you will be entered in the giveaway again. Okay. So that is that. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making a portrait, more importantly, or more specifically, a self-portrait. Self-portrait is when you pretty much draw yourself or create a piece of work where the subject is yourself. So in this case, I will be drawing myself, but in your case, you're going to be drawing yourself, right? We're going to be doing that with a variety of different materials, such as marker, paper cutouts, glue, glitter, and all this other stuff. I do have the kit here, the ones that you guys came and picked up. But if you did not get a chance to pick up your kit, that is completely fine. You can always follow along using materials that you have at home. I'm sure that a lot of you guys are artists yourselves, so you should have a pack of crayons or a pack of markers at your house, hiding somewhere where it's easy for you guys to get and follow along. Okay, so I'm going to be going through all the items that are inside the kit really quickly before we get started with the actual activity. So inside, the first thing you would see are two large pieces of paper. So this is the piece of paper, or the piece of paper that we'll be using to complete our project or our piece of work, our artwork. We get two of them. I'm going to be using one of them to actually do the piece of art, and then we're going to use one of them to cut out and make shapes for our project. I'm going to put them here on the side. We also have a box that has some gems in there, some stones. We're going to use them as well for our portrait. Some glitter glue. We're going to use this as well, and some regular glue as well. So this is all inside this little box here. If you would like to know where you can get more of these gems, they're actually, you can get them at HEB. There's one in Mission called an HEB Plus in Mission that you can find these. They're really great. They have a bunch of different colors. So that's where you can get these yourself. But you did receive some in the box. There is also a pack of markers. So 12 markers, 12 different colors. We're going to be using a number of them today. And then we also have two magazines. And we're going to be using these to cut out because activity actually requires us to use a lot of different kind of mediums. So a lot of different materials, including cutouts from these magazines, okay? So when we get to that point, I want you guys to look through your magazines and find images that you might like. So maybe you like a specific animal, maybe you see a dog in your magazine, go ahead and cut it out. And if you like dogs, you can put it on top of our portrait once we are done with it. So it's kind of like a collage, mixed media portrait, self-portrait, to be more exact. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you can find some nice images in both of these, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put them back. Okay. So before we get started, I want to talk to you guys about an artist called Michelin Thomas. She's an African American artist that lives in New York. She has had her artwork displayed all across the United States. She makes a living from doing art. She's been doing it for a while as well. And we're going to kind of be inspired and gather inspiration from a couple of her portraits. So she's known for doing these amazing portraits with a lot of color and a lot of kind of cutouts, like we said, because we're going to be doing cutouts as well. Um, and she was inspired by pop art. Pop art is an art movement that happened in the 1950s, and she was inspired by that. And naturally, she it kind of shows in her art. And then we got Colin here. So we're going to be using these images, and you can look her up as well, so you can get inspired by her. Michelin Thomas is her name. We're going to be using these images to gather inspiration, like I said, and try to make something original and nice for ourselves. Okay. Okay, very good. So I developed a very short list here of the materials we're going to be using, or that I'm going to be using to create a mixed media work of art. So again, for mixed media, we need different materials. So first, we're going to start off with a pencil, and I have a pencil here in my ear, always ready to go. So yeah, we're going to use a pencil first, and then we move on to markers, and then the cutouts, and then the gemstones. So you guys should follow along so that you won't get lost, and that you ensure that you use all of these materials to make your portrait. So again, it's going to be a self-portrait. Self-portraits, we're going to be ourselves. So for example, for me, I'm going to draw myself, including my glasses, right? Kind of try to get my hair, try to get how my eyes look and all that. In order for it to kind of look like me, again, it doesn't have to look like you exactly. I'm certainly not going to make something that looks like 100% like me, but I will try to do my best and create something that I like. Okay. Okay. So first, we're going to start off with a pencil, like I said, and I would like you guys to use a lot of paper. So make sure you use the space that you have in front of you. Do not draw a very small character here, or like a very yourself very small here in the corner. We have a big paper to work with. So I want you guys to take full advantage of it. Okay, so I'm going to get started with drawing my head here. So for you guys to see, I am going to draw my head pretty big so you can see how much space I am using here on my page. There we go. And for my composition, it is slightly off-centered, so I'm going to put it right in the middle. I would like to put it in kind of like a little bit off-centered. So I have my head here. I do this to kind of guide myself. So this line in the middle is going to go right through between my eyes and over my nose and down the middle of my mouth. So if you watch me here, when we put the eyes in, this line here that I made in the middle is going to be right between it, right between the eyes.
You hold it up to the front of the soul so see your lines.
Yeah, so you guys can see there how I'm drawing my head first. So when you're drawing, maybe you're having trouble drawing the eyes or something, kind of try to draw a football shape. Okay, it's kind of like a diamond shape. It's not quite exactly a diamond shape, but I think it's pretty good. That's something that's pretty good to keep in mind whenever you're drawing eyes. Okay, then we're going to move on to our nose. The nose should be, I guess, yeah, for sure, farther down than our eyes, right? But also, keep in mind that the line that we did here in the middle travels right in the middle of our nose. And one way that it can help you out as well is that drawing symmetrically, so symmetrical. So our faces are generally symmetrical, right, for the most part. And so if you draw one thing on one side, you can draw the same thing on the other side. So we're using symmetry as well. Okay, and then for our mouth, we are simply gonna draw a line first. I'm gonna make myself happy and smiling. So it's gonna slightly kind of curve upwards in the corners. Down like that. And then we're gonna do this right here, kind of like a half circle for this is gonna be my T. And then my mouth is gonna be, my bottom lip is gonna be right. Okay. So there we go. And now can't forget to give myself a chin. Side of my head here, where my cheeks are gonna be. And remember, we are sketching right now, so that means that it can be very loose. But as soon as we start adding our marker and stuff, going over our lines, make sure that you're happy with your sketch before going over it. Because once we got at the marker, we can't really go back and try to kind of change it. Or you can always cover it up in art. There's always ways to fix art if you for some reason don't like it. Okay, I'm gonna give myself some eyebrows. And the upper lip is pretty much always thinner than the bottom one. So keep that in mind whenever you're drawing. This bottom lip is thicker. The top one is thinner. Okay. Now our ears. So one way to remember the ears, a lot of people kind of stress about the ears. Sometimes they think it's hard to draw the ears. But just remember that the ear starts at the top of our eyebrow. So let's make a line here, going like that for the side. So our ear is going to start here where the eyebrow starts. And then it ends where our nose kind of ends. So around here. So that's how big our ears are. Again, where our eyebrows start. Like that. Now I'm going to give myself actually pupils. So right now this is pretty generic, right? We're just drawing ourselves, and we've probably done this a couple of times when we try to draw a person or ourselves. But once we start adding color and all these other materials, it's going to really start to look like something that Michelin Thomas might have done, or maybe will approve of if she sees it. Okay, so for our ears, you just draw 2 lines like that, and that pretty much gets the tip of our ears. Okay, draw my hairs. Again, be very loose. Kind of like that. And then there's one big thing that we're forgetting, or that I'm forgetting. It is my glasses, right? So I have glasses, so make sure to add those in if you do wear them. I think mine are pretty, my glasses are pretty big, the frames. So they do cover a good part of my face here. Okay, so I have the sketch of my head. I'm gonna add a neck and kind of like the collar that I'm wearing a shirt with a collar. So yeah, very good. And there we go. We have the sketch done. Okay, now it is time for us to gather on our markers. So we have the markers here. We're going to be using these. It's going to be completely up to you what color you're going to use. I, for some reason, tend to lean on using kind of like the blues and purples for the outline. So I will outline mine with the purple, but you can use black for yours or any other color. Okay.
You're getting a lot of likes on your drawing.
Good. Yeah, so I'll be using purple for my outlines. Okay. Um, so purple in general is a dark color, so it's kind of like a good substitute to using black because sometimes maybe you might get tired of just kind of outlining things with a black marker or black pen. But yeah, if you switch it out with a different color, sometimes you might surprise yourself and you might even like it more. So I'm just gonna outline what I already did. Okay, nose. I'm still outlining it with my marker. I wonder what colors you all chose, and I hope you guys are following along. Once we finish outlining with our marker, then it's going to start to get pretty different from what maybe you're used to when coloring or doing any work of art. I'm going to try to be relatively fast here. Make sure that you add a highlight to your eye. You can do that just by making kind of like a circle like that. And then when you color it in, you just kind of leave it like that. That gives it a highlight. If you forget to add a highlight, sometimes you might not like the way it looks. Your drawing sometimes doesn't look like an actual person when you forget the highlight. It kind of gives the eye it lets us know that the eye is kind of like working in a way. So when you're doing hair as well, you can be very, very kind of very loose and just make a bunch of kind of triangles and wavy motions with your hands. Okay, pretty much done with my hair here. So I'm gonna move on to the rest of my body, which is just my neck and my shoes. Okay, so I outlined it with purple. I finished the outline. Now it's time to actually color it. This is also when it's your time to kind of make decisions and make decide what color you're going to be coloring yourself. In the color pack, there's no really kind of like a skin tones, or you might be able to make one with the colors that we have here. But I'm just going to use orange for mine. So I'm going to be using orange for my skin, and then I'm going to continue using purple for my hair. Okay, so I'm going to do my hair first. So when you color in the hair, I like to kind of do it and kind of keep in mind what direction you're going in. So right now I'm going this way, And then if I switch it up and go this way, and then let's say I'm now this direction, a bit more up, it kind of gives it a kind of more natural look to it. It kind of looks like there's light hitting my hair, and that's what's creating the white part here. That's just kind of like a trick that I picked up over just from drawing. And then this way, we don't have to really color the whole thing like that, but it kind of gives it a sense that, like I said, the light's hitting it, and that's why it's white in those areas. So I finished it there. Now we'll move on to my skin, using my hair. It's very caricature right now, but it's going to become a mixed media portrait in just a minute. So for my skin, I'm just going to go ahead and completely go across my face here. I did not erase the pencil marks, but you can do that. I think the pencil marks kind of adds to the drawing. I'm just going to try to do this as clean and as fast as possible. So like I said earlier, Michelin Thomas was inspired by pop art. So in pop art, you would generally see things like this where people would draw like comic book characters or advertisement characters where they kind of just completely fill in like I guess big shapes with just one color like this. And then I'll teach you how to kind of add some shading in just a bit. I wonder if anybody's using maybe like a green or even a blue. I think that would be cool.
We have some people tuning in. We have Hema, Sadie, and Cindy.
Hi, Emma. And
Sadie.
Sadie?
And Cindy.
And Cindy. Okay, I finished. Let me go ahead and do the same for my lips. There we go. Now I'm gonna grab this light blue here. I'm gonna use this light blue to add the shadows essentially. So if I decide that the light's coming from this direction, of course, you guys, if you don't want to worry about light or any of that, you can just do what you want to do. But let's say light's going from that direction where the arrow is, so it's going to be hitting my forehead here and maybe like this side of my face. So on this side, I'm just going to go like this that's going to come act as our shadows. So, and then under our lips here, there usually is a shadow like that. It comes across like that. Of course, under where our neck is, our head is making a shadow. This ear is completely in shadows or kind of. It is called hatching, by the way, this technique of using lines. And it works best when you kind of follow the face. So like my face is circular, so you kind of make lines that curve. Usually it just works better. Maybe this side of my nose, everything's shadowing. My eyes are going to be blue here. There we go. And if you notice, the blue kind of turned green. That's because of the yellow and the orange, right? So orange has yellow, and blue and yellow creates green. Now you can use blue for my shirt.
We have Ava joining us.
Oh, Ava,
Okay.
welcome, Ava.
I want to know like how many workshops everyone's done.
As you guys
Yeah.
the top score.
Yeah.
I know Ava's yeah, I know Ava's good at something. Fine with it. I'm just adding detail here on the face. Okay, so this is the part when it kind of gets. I'm just gonna erase that I made. It's gonna get a bit more, I guess, different. But before we start, I want to make a background for ourselves. Usually, Michelin Thomas, uses a lot of shapes in her works. So what I want to do in the back is just start pasting shapes anywhere. And she also has she adds a bunch of patterns in her shapes. So that's also something that I want to incorporate in our as a portrait. So if I start right here, I'm going to go ahead and add like lines in the background. Try to make the lines as straight as you can. We don't have any rulers, unless you do. Then yeah, just try to make them as straight as you can, and they're gonna create shapes here in the back. So I'm making kind of like squares here, but it's just behind my head, right? Maybe you can add lines, play with lines. So just add maybe a line that kind of trails off like that. That. So now we created kind of like a pattern back. Um, what I'm going to do now is in each kind of space that we have, I'm going to add a pattern. So on this one, I'm going to add a polka dot pattern. Still using the orange. I think the orange is kind of like a nice backdrop that kind of complements what I guess what I did for my skin here. So I'm just going to do a bunch of colors. I mean a bunch of circles. That's going to be our polka dot pattern. That, and on this one, this square right here, I'm going to do maybe some triangles.
Can be a lot of 85.
80s. Yeah, so pop art was actually in the 50s, but it was used throughout, and like I said, advertisements and stuff, all throughout like the 80s and 90s and 70s. So I think that's why it's doing that, and yeah, and generally like the colors and the whole polka dots and stuff, it just kind of reminds me of that as well. I think one last pattern would do it here.
Do pass it on swiggles.
Okay, let me see how I come up with. Okay, so yeah, just count lines like this. And going down, and going down. They kind of look like snakes. There we go. As long as it's a pattern, it just keeps on going. It will look good at the end when you kind of finish because it just keeps going, right? It's just one thing that is repeated so many times. And for some reason, pattern just look good. Wait a second. Okay, so we have our main subject, which is myself. A background, we colored it in. what we can do is, oh, actually, at the end we'll do this, but at the end I'm just gonna go with the black, maybe outline my glasses and stuff, kind of just looking where I can kind of just fix it and make it just that much bit better. But now I want to go ahead and look through the magazines that are inside the kit and cut out things that you might like. Okay. So for me, I already cut out my images. So earlier today, I was kind of looking through the magazines and seeing what I can cut out to add to my portrait. And these are the ones. These are what I came up with. So I have some shapes here, some yellow lines. These are actually from the borders of the front the cover. And I have some images here of animals, which I think look pretty cool, and some shapes. Okay, so remember, shapes are very important in her work, so we want to kind of address that and do that as much as possible. I'm also going to get my glue. Oh, right here. Yeah, so I do have glue right here. Yeah, so we're going to use glue and the cutouts that I did, and I'm just gonna try to put them somewhere where I think I just like it. And at this point on, you kind of have to kind of release, like, let's say you really like what you drew, kind of try to forget about it as much as you can, and don't be afraid of putting things on top of things to cover it. Okay, so sometimes you like something so much that you don't want to kind of mess with it or something. But this type of art requires you to kind of put things on top of each other, which will cover some things, right? So I put this here; it will cover part of my head, or part of my face, but that is completely fine. This is how her work is, right? So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I have these here. I have a dog image here, and I do like dogs, so I made sure to cut it out. And that's the first one that I'm going to go ahead and paste on my drawing. Okay, I'm gonna put this one here, right? I covered a little bit of my, I guess, cheek, but it's fine. There we go. Have two circles with a really cool kind of splatter design in here. And I'm going to see where I can put these, okay? I think these will be really cool to add. And I'm only putting a few of these, but you can completely go crazy with them and do a lot more if you want. Actually, if it goes off the page, then won't be completely. There we go, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there we go. But I think that if it goes off the page, that can be cool. And I am getting dirty, but that's completely fine. We're using a bunch of materials, so it's understandable. I'll put this one. Okay, and just kind of mess with it like you saw me do right now. I kind of struggled to where to put this shape here, but you just kind of move it around, see where you like it, and if you ultimately do not like it, you can always take it off before it completely dries, right? But again, kind of experiment. These I think they're moose or yeah, some sort of deer. I thought they were really cool. It's kind of like illustrated, yeah. So that's why I liked it. I'm gonna go ahead and find a good place for these for this image. I'm like preserving too much in my hair, but I think it's very. Oh, that is fine. This one's also coming out the paper. Okay, so we have 4 images there. Now I did cut off these rectangles, and I think they will serve nicely to create some kind of um, border that's actually not a border, but it kind of just gives it a bit more to my art. I'm gonna go ahead and add some glue. There's also glitter glue in your bag, but you can always use that instead of regular glue, and you can always add it here on the actual paper as well. I like it here. It's going over two things. So over my drawing and the image that I pasted earlier. Maybe I think this one would go there. Cool. Okay, so this is my last cutout. There we go. So this is what we have so far. There's one more thing that I want to do, which is using the gemstones that were inside our bags. So yeah, these are pretty cool. I think that I have a good idea on how to use these. So I'm gonna use these kind of throughout my hair, but also kind of outside of it as well. Kind of like that. They kind of look like they're coming off my hair, or kind of my hair is uh, kind of creating these particles, but in reality they are the gems. If you're having trouble making them stick, you can always use glue. Just kind of sprinkle them in here and there. There. There we go. Maybe one on top of the shapes there that we did together.
You from here like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we just saw that Michelin Thomas actually used some I guess some gems to make the shadows. So I'm gonna actually do that here on mine. Let's add them in where I have the shadow for where my neck is. I think that would be pretty cool. Again, we're using getting inspiration from her. We're not copying her work entirely, but we are trying to see what kind of she did and how we can do it just a bit different from her. That is cool. There we go. I think we add a bit more on top. And then as farther away that it gets from my hair, it kind of disperses and there's a lot less of ink.
Someone says you work really fast.
I try to move it fast just for the video, right? Y'all can always kind of stop the video or go back to it. I've also been, I've drawn a lot more than a lot of you guys, so I just, yeah, very old. No, I just been draw right. The more you draw, the easier it is, and then you just become faster at it. But there we go. It's enough. I could be adding those gems all day. But I'm now going to add black, and it's going to be the finishing touch for my portrait. So black, I'm going to use it sparingly, which means that very little and only in places that really need it, according to me, that I think I need. So for my glasses, they kind of get lost right now the way we had it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add black to really kind of bring them out, and actually make them visible here on my face. Right now they kind of just blended in with everything, the whole chaos that's going on. Um, yeah, it just looked like I didn't have it, but with the black, I think that will make it more apparent. Again, symmetry. So one side of the glasses should look relatively similar to the. Okay, there we go. I'm also gonna add black um, on these corners in my mouth, where kind of like the teeth kind of fade kind of inside. So they just darker there. Kind of like that. That adds to it, and I think it just makes it look better. Also here where my nose kind of creases. There we go. Again, the light was coming from this side, so this side of the face was a lot darker, or should be darker. So I'm going to use the black to outline what's on this side of the face, not here. So I'm not going to use black here. I'm going to use it just on this side of it. This is also another technique that kind of you learn as you take art classes and stuff. Um, yeah, so I'm going to use it here for the shadow under my neck, and it just makes sense to be used here, right? Because it's darker, so you need that extra bit of black. Same here where my color kind of makes a gap. Oh, one final thing would be using the black for eyes. Okay, I'm going to use black here for my hair just a little bit. Doing the same thing, using lines to just kind of create that effect that there's light fitting in. Okay, let's see. I think there's one more thing that I can add. Make sure we get the red here. We didn't really use red. You know what? I'm gonna keep using the light blue that we used for the face here. I'm gonna do that for the background here. So for the patterns, I'm just gonna add a super light kind of outline and super thin. So the line's gonna be very thin. That's gonna contrast with the thicker lines that I used here for the outline of my face. So the background's gonna have thin lines outlining it, and the foreground, which is what's in front, is going to have thicker lines. All right, so this is pretty much it. So this is what I came up with after, how much was that? Probably 40 minutes around there. 40 minutes of using different materials. I actually think that I could have got a bit more on the cutting out stuff. So maybe I could have added more images, but always, you guys can always add to your works of art. These are really cool because everybody's portraits are going to be different. Um, and for me, for example, I went kind of heavy with the orange, so the warmer colors. But that doesn't mean that I left out the cooler colors, which are like the brown, I mean the blues and the purples, because I did sprinkle them in like in the hair and the shirt, and that kind of gives it that pop, kind of like a pop art. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys followed along as well, and that you kind of enjoyed the drawing.
So we're gonna next.
Okay, so for the next one, you guys are gonna be creating lanterns using what is it, paper?
Tissue paper.
Yeah, tissue paper. So you're gonna be creating these lanterns using paper, tissue paper, and I think they come out real nice. Look at that. You can have it in your room, and it's actually real, yeah, real cool. I'll have this in my room, I think. So the star is really creative as well, and I'm sure you can get creative with these as well, just like we did for our portraits. So I'm excited to yeah, for you guys to continue doing art and to maybe see you guys doing the activity next month as well. Again, we have a giveaway. Again, by HEB. They are this craft kind of kits or yeah bundle, and it has a bunch of crafting materials, art materials, things that anybody that does art will love. Even a sketchbook I saw, which is super cool. You can never have enough sketchbooks. Um, if you signed up for the kits, you are automatically entered in the giveaway. If you did not sign up for the kit, you can always kind of comment below and or tag us using in our social media, and you'll be entered in the giveaway as well. If you've already got a kit, you can always comment still, and you will be entered again in the giveaway, making it more likely for you to win. And I hope you guys enjoy this wherever wins it out there. Okay. And thank you guys for tuning in.